Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. I'm Josh Strife Hayes, and this is a super simple, complete beginner's guide to the Barrows in Old School Runescape. This guide is for players who haven't done Barrows before. I'll be explaining absolutely everything you'll need to know. What it is, how to get there, what to do, and the rewards you could earn. I'll be using mid-level gear on a non-maxed account, keeping the equipped items and inventory setup as budget-friendly as possible. As with all my guides, this will be long and detailed, so grab a cup of tea, settle in, and let's learn the Barrows. 1. What is the Barrows? A barrow is a medieval structure covered with soil usually used to bury someone. In Old School Runescape, the Barrows is the name of a combat minigame where you dig into the tombs of 6 long-dead brothers, kill them again, then steal their things. The 6 Barrows mounds are found within a graveyard in the haunted land of Mauritania. You'll kill 5 out of the 6 brothers straight out of their coffins, then venture into the underground tunnels to kill the 6th one before looting the final treasure chest. It is a mid-level combat challenge and will see you fight undead enemies who will be using all 3 combat styles. 2. How do you get there? The Barrows is located in Mauritania through the southern swamp and northeast of Dharok. Because of this, you'll need to have finished the Priest in Peril quest for access to Mauritania, and got most of the way through the Nature Spirit quest to cross the swamp. There are a few ways to get there. The simplest is the Barrows teleport from the Arceus spellbook, or a Barrows teleport tablet. You can buy these on the Grand Exchange. They cost about 3,000 coins. You can use the Shades of Morton minigame teleport, provided you finish the quest Shades of Morton, or the fairy ring code BKR, then run south through the swamp. For this guide, because it's the easiest and fastest thing to do, we'll be using a Barrows teleport tablet. 3. Level requirements. The Barrows is a combat minigame, so we'll need some combat stats. You'll need to kill 6 powerful brothers in their own crypts, and a few weaker creatures in the tunnels below. 5 of the brothers are extremely weak to magic, so we'll be using magic to kill the majority of them. The other brother is weak to range. Because of this, it's recommended to have 60 plus in both magic and range, although it's possible with 50. We'll have some low level enemies to kill once we're in the tunnels, so 60 plus in both attack and strength is ideal, but 50 will do. You'll hear me mention switching to melee for the tunnels a few times. I'll explain what this means later in the guide. For defense, higher is always better. The minimum I'd recommend for taking this on is 40. We're going to be praying against all the brothers, so having 43 prayer for protect from melee is essential. Hit points will only matter against one brother, Verac. He can hit through our protection prayer for a maximum of 15, and it's not uncommon to see 2 or 3 hits like this in a row, so HP above 50 is ideal. With these basic stats, you'll stand a chance. Now, let's look at what items you'll need. 4. Equipped items. While writing this guide, I've researched every resource available and something made me laugh. The Old School Runescape wiki lists this setup on screen now and inventory as maximum efficiency, and while that's likely true, it would also cost you 467 million coins and requires an Inferno kill. Other guides all recommend you equip Barrows items, which seems odd because you clearly haven't done the Barrows to get the items, although Barrows items are the best for completing the Barrows, which I'm now naming the Barrows Paradox. This guide, however, is aimed at beginners, so I won't be recommending anything expensive or any piece of Barrows equipment. Let's look at the realistic gear we'll actually need, starting with the best and working down into the budget choices. The brothers we need to kill are all super weak to magic, so we'll be using that. One brother, however, is weak to range, and enemies in the tunnel can be killed with melee. Knowing that, let's start with our weapon. One of the best choices at 75 magic is a Trident of the Seas, charged up with Death, Chaos and Fire runes. The trident itself is cheap, but it does require 75 magic. Magic Dart, often called Slayer Dart, is a level 50 spell that uses Death and Mind runes, but also requires 55 Slayer and a Slayer staff equipped. It's accurate and powerful, but does have a requirement of 55 Slayer. Iban's Blast is another great choice, a level 50 spell that uses Death and Fire runes, but needs an Iban's staff equipped, meaning you must have done the Underground Pass quest. Below these, the best magic spell you can cast. For this guide, I'll be using the level 47 Water Blast, needing Death, Water and Air runes, and equipping a Mystic Air Staff. Your main weapon will depend on which of these spells you're using, but for the offhand, an Unholy Book will give good offensive bonuses all round, but it's expensive. Below that, a Runekite Shield or Broodoo Shield for the prayer bonus will work. One of the brothers, however, is weak to ranged attacks, so we'll need a weapon switch. At 70 range and 50 agility, if you've completed the Roving Elves quest, a Crystal Bow is fantastic. Below that, a level 50 magic shortbow imbued with a shortbow scroll is great. If you can't afford the imbued version, a regular magic shortbow combined with rune arrows will be fine. For this guide, I'll use the regular magic shortbow. We'll also have to kill some mid-level enemies in the tunnels, so bringing a melee weapon to switch to is a nice idea. It means we won't waste any arrows or runes killing the small things. An Abyssal Whip is perfect, but needs 70 attack and is expensive. A Dragon Scimitar is the second best, but needs Monkey Madness done. You don't need a melee weapon switch. You can absolutely keep casting your mage spell on the smaller enemies. It will just burn through your runes quicker. For this guide, to keep things simple, I will not be bringing a melee weapon switch. I will just mage everything. Now we've had a look at weapons, let's have a look at our armour. I've mentioned the Barrows brothers are weak to magic, and I mean really weak. Even with low magical accuracy, we will still hit often, so we'll be equipping items focusing on protecting us from the monsters in the tunnels and boosting our prayer. For the headgear, the Helm of Nature's Knot is great. It's a reward from the Fremnik Isles quest. If you haven't done that quest, then a rune full helm will do. On our neck, an occult necklace is great but needs 70 magic. An Amulet of Fury is second best but costs several million, so a good budget option is an Amulet of Glory. For the back slot, a God Cape from the Mage Arena in the Wilderness will boost our magical accuracy. The level 75 imbued version is best, but the regular version works just fine. If you haven't done the Mage Arena mini quest, then the ranging item Ava's Attractor from the Animal Magnetism quest is good for boosting our range. I'll be using the basic God Cape. Let's look at our body and legs next. We'll be praying for almost every kill, so our armour choice will be based on boosting our accuracy. Mage won't need much boosting, but range will, so black dragonhide body and chaps will work well. If you don't have the required 70 range, red dragonhide will do. At bare minimum, rune plate body and plate legs will help us survive a few hits from the enemies in the tunnels. I'll go with red dragonhide body and rune plate legs. On our feet, if you're switching to a melee weapon in the tunnels, then dragon boots will give us a nice strength boost. If you can't afford dragon boots, or you're like me and you're not switching to melee, then mystic boots will boost your mage, and snakeskin boots will help with range. I'll be wearing mystic boots. For the glove slot, the best gloves you have from the Recipe for Disaster quest. If you've not started the quest, or only have up to Mithril unlocked, then a combat bracelet is a good substitute. For rings, if you're switching to melee for the tunnels, then a Berserker ring or Warrior ring will help, but again, cost can be an issue. A Seer's ring will help us with magical accuracy if you're planning on maging everything, and at the lower end, an Explorer's ring from the Lumbridge Diaries will give us a small prayer bonus. 5. Inventory setup. Now we're fully geared up. We might look a bit strange, but it'll be effective. Before we go to explore the Barrows, let's look at the inventory we'll need. The Barrows takes place in Mauritania, and getting there can be a bit of a walk. So a Barrows teleport tablet, or a stack of them, will make our journey much easier. Then we'll also need a way out. Any teleport item will do. A tablet, runes for a spell, or an item with a teleport equipped, like a ring of dueling. Then we'll need a spade. There's a spade spawn just north of where you start, so don't worry if you forget one. Now, everything we take will be focused on increasing our magic, ranged and melee damage, along with keeping our prayer and hit points high. If, like me, you're going to be maging and ranging the whole way, then a ranging potion and magic potion can be useful, but they aren't needed. If you'll be switching to melee for the tunnels, a combat or super combat potion is very useful. Now we're going to need a lot of prayer potions, a super restore and some food. This is the expensive part of Barrows. Your prayer will be drained, but it's essential we have prayer points, so multiple prayer pots are going to be needed. Along with prayer, there's one brother who can hit us even if we're praying, so we'll need some food. Sharks will be fine. The super restore pot is for the stat draining effect from several of the brothers. I'll explain this more later. And now we're set. We have acceptable equipment and an inventory that should help us survive for a few runs. Let's go and learn the Barrows. 6. The Barrows, the Arena. The Barrows is a graveyard in South Mauritania. There are 6 mounds of earth housing 6 long dead warriors from the Third Age. These graves always contain the same brother. Clockwise from the top they are Dharok, Guthan, Karil, Torag, Verac and Ahrim in the centre. To enter a barrow, just stand on top of it and dig with your spade. When you enter the tomb of a brother, they won't appear until you interact with the sarcophagus. However, your prayer will be constantly drained while inside a barrow or the tunnels underneath. Every 18 seconds, the ghostly image of a Barrows brother face will appear on your screen. When this happens, your prayer has been drained. As you kill more brothers, the prayer drain effect will become more severe. The drain effect will start at 8 prayer points and increase by 1 for every brother you have killed this run. This means we want to spend as little time as possible in each barrow. When you enter a barrow and interact with the sarcophagus, you'll spawn that specific brother. We'll look at how to kill each one of them later. If there are multiple players doing this, you will only be able to attack or be attacked by your specific spawn. One of the 6 coffins, however, won't spawn a brother. It will ask you if you want to enter the tunnels below. The coffin that contains the tunnel is random every time you restart a run, but it will remain in that coffin until you open the casket at the end. The tunnel takes us to the end of the barrows, and we'll want to return to this sarcophagus last, after killing the other 5. To leave a barrow, just climb up the stairs to the side. Now, we know the arena and its basic effects. Let's look at how to kill each brother and the special effects they all have. 7. Killing the Barrows brothers. Each Barrows brother has a special effect. Some are more dangerous than others, so let's examine them from the top, moving clockwise. Dharok the Wretched. Enter the northeast barrow and open the coffin to find Dharok. He's a melee fighter and uses a giant 2-handed axe. All his damage can be stopped with Protect from melee. Dharok's effect is, the lower his health, the more damage he can potentially hit. At 1 hit point, Dharok's max hit becomes 64, so it's absolutely essential that we keep Protect from melee on at all times, or risk being 1 hit killed. To kill him, just use magic. Guthan the Infested. The southeast barrow contains Guthan. He's a melee fighter who uses a spear, so Protect from melee will stop all his damage. His effect is self-healing. There's a 25% chance on each successful hit against you that he'll heal for the same amount that he hits, effectively stealing life from you. Keeping Protect from Melee on at all times will stop the healing effect happening. Again, just kill him with magic. Karil the Tainted. The southern Barrow is Karil. He's the archer brother, and he uses a two-handed repeating crossbow. His set effect gives him a 25% chance per hit to reduce our agility level by 20. This isn't a problem in combat, but it will mean our run energy drains faster, which will make the tunnels harder to navigate. Keeping Protect from range on will stop his damage, but not the draining effect. You'll still have your agility lowered even if he hits 0. This is why we've brought the Super Restore for after the fight. Karil is a ranger, so you'd think he'd be strong against magic, but he's actually not. Because his magic level is 1, his defense is terrible, so we can kill him with magic relatively easily. Torag the Corrupted. The westernmost Barrow is Torag. He's a melee fighter and wields a pair of hammers. His set effect will give him a 25% chance per successful hit to lower your remaining run energy by 20%. That is an almost useless set effect, and with Protect from Melee stopping all of his damage, Torag is considered the easiest brother to fight. Verac the Defiled. The Northwest Barrow contains Verac. He's a melee fighter who uses a chained flail. Verac's set effect is one of the most dangerous we'll have to fight. He has a 25% chance per hit to completely ignore our armor bonus and most of our protection prayers. Having Protect from Melee on is still useful, however, as when his set effect does trigger, it will lower his max hit from 23 down to 15. Verac is why we've brought food. We'll be keeping Protect from Melee on during the whole fight and eating when he gets a few lucky hits on us. Ahrim the Blighted. The central Barrow is Ahrim the Mage. He'll use a two-handed staff and cast magic spells at us. His set effect gives him a 20% chance on each successful hit to lower our strength by 5. Protect from Magic will completely negate all his damage, but won't stop the strength draining effect. So after killing him, the Super Restore will help us restore our stats. Ahrim is the only brother not super weak to magic, so we'll switch to our range weapon to kill him. Useful tip for killing the brothers in their crypts is the melee ones can be safe spotted. You can run away and use the terrible pathing to trap them behind their own sarcophagus or objects on the floor. They can also be held still by the snare and bind spells, meaning if you run out of prayer, you can still kill them. 8. The Tunnel. As you dig from barrow to barrow killing the brothers, one of the coffins will contain the tunnel entrance. You only want to go down this once you've killed the other 5, so clear out each brother, then return to where you found the tunnel and go down. The tunnels are a 3x3 grid of rooms, with thin passages connecting the corner rooms around the outside, and the rewards chest we want to get to in the middle. While in the tunnels, our prayer will be drained, just like in the barrows themselves. But as we've now killed 5 brothers, the prayer drain effect will remove 13 prayer points every 18 seconds, which is quite severe. To get to the chest, all we need to do is find the correct route through the correct combination of doors that open and get us inside. Not every door will open, and it's different every time you come down. You'll need to run around from room to room until you find the one that allows you to open the door to the center. While doing this, there are 3 things that will get in our way. The rooms are full of enemies, from the level 43 crypt rats to the level 79 giant crypt spider, and they'll attack you on sight. When you do finally find the right door to let you into the central room, you'll need to solve a quick puzzle before it opens. It's always about finding the next shape that comes in a pattern. There are 4 different puzzles, and as you play more, you'll be able to quickly click the answer. If you get attacked while attempting to solve the puzzle, you'll be interrupted and have to kill the thing attacking you first. Once you solve the puzzle, you'll need to click on the central door again to actually go through. And then there's the issue of the final Barrows brother, the one whose coffin had the tunnel entrance in. He's waiting for you somewhere in these tunnels. The sixth brother has a chance to spawn whenever you open any door in the tunnels. That's the edge doors into the outer corridors, the doors leading from room to room, or the doors leading to the centre. They'll only spawn once, and when you've killed them, they won't spawn again. If they don't spawn by the time you reach the chest in the centre, they'll appear when you open the chest. Kill this final brother in exactly the way you normally would. Remember to keep your prayer high, drinking to counter the draining effect of the tunnels. 9. Rewards. With all 6 brothers defeated, the tunnels navigated, you can open the rewards chest. But before you do, take a moment to kill a few more of the smaller tunnel enemies. Killing all 6 brothers gives you the highest chance of receiving a Barrows item in the chest, but killing the smaller enemies builds up your drop percentage. A higher drop percentage means more runes or bolt racks. The optimal amount of reward points to aim for maximum profit is around 880 or 86.8%. This will give you the highest amount of valuable runes and the lowest amount of relatively cheap bolt racks. You can actually achieve this exact reward percentage by killing 1 skeleton, 1 giant spider and 1 crypt rat while in the tunnels, or 3 bloodworms and 1 crypt spider. If you're not able to hit this percentage exactly, don't worry. I often go for 100% just because it looks nice. With that done, open the chest and search it. You can find any piece of any Barrows brother equipment, mind, death and blood runes, coins or clue scrolls. Once you've looted the chest, teleport out, bank your rewards, restock and go and do it again. Remember, the tunnel brother will change each time and the route to the middle will be different. The Barrows equipment is some of the best armour in the game, and wearing a full set will actually give you the same effect the brother had. Barrows equipment, however, will degrade and break after 15 hours of combat, losing all its stats until it's fixed. You can fix it by taking to one of the fixing NPCs, such as Bob in Lumbridge, or using an armour stand in a player-owned house. Repairing on the armour stand is recommended, as the repair cost goes down as your smithing level goes up. 10. Let's do a complete run. Now I've explained everything, it's time to actually film a full run from start to finish and talk you through it as I go, so you can see exactly what to expect. With everything covered, I can now start a full complete run and talk you through everything I do as I do it. We'll be starting in Lumbridge. I've got death runes and water runes on me to cast Water Blast. I've got my magic short bow to switch when I get to Ahrim, and a Barrows teleport will take me there. Got to take your spade to get in, and then all my prayer potions and a single super restore. Loads of manta rays for the food, and a teleport to house to get away. I'm wearing a rune full helm, a Saradomin cape, an amulet of glory, rune arrows, a mystic air staff, a red dragonhide body, a Brudu shield, rune plate legs, combat bracelet, mystic boots, and an explorer's ring, a nice cheap setup. In combat options, I'll be casting the level 47 Water Blast spell. So with everything ready, let's break the tablet and head off to the Barrows. Now if you've forgot your spade, there's one in the building just to the east of you on the table, but I've got mine with me, so it'll be okay. First one, we'll head to Dharok's barrow, which is in the northeast. I'll dig in and then grab him from the sarcophagus. Remember, keeping protect from melee on will negate all his damage. Oh, it's the tunnel. Fantastic. We're going to have Dharok in the tunnel. No problem. I'll come back to that one at the end then. Guthan is the next one I tend to head to because it's just south of where we are. Guthan again is a melee fighter, so keeping on protect from melee will stop all of his damage. This is the guy that siphons our health. We've interacted with the sarcophagus, summoned Guthan, we're going to keep protect from melee on, and now we just keep maging him down. You can see a counter on the right hand side of my screen. That's the prayer counter. There's the big Barrows brother face when it pops out, and that's when the prayer drain effect happens. So 10 more seconds and I'll lose a few prayer points, but I've got those potions on me, so I'm not too worried about that. You'll notice that even though I'm wearing rune armour and I'm using a level 47 magic spell, I'm still hitting relatively consistently and relatively high. That's because they really do have terrible magic defense. And with that, Guthan goes down, so we can turn the Protect from Melee off to save a few prayer points and run to the southern barrow, which is Karil digging in and waking him up. Karil is the ranger, so Protect from range is going to be used here, Protect from missiles. Now Karil, despite being a ranger, has terrible magic defense because enemies' magic defense is not just made up of their specific armor, it's made up of their magic level. And at magic level 1, Karil is starting with a minus 65 magical defense modifier anyway. So even though he is a ranger and he's got range armor on, he's starting from such a negative number that he's not able to recover. And he's not able to stand up to our magical attacks. Remember, Karil's ability will drain our agility. I've had my agility drained down to 54. The only effect that's going to have on this run is that my run energy is not going to recharge as fast and the tunnels are going to be a little bit slower to traverse. The prayer draining effect there, taking my prayer points down, having a quick sip of potion. Prayer potions are the most expensive thing about this run. Remember, as you do the run, you'll be burning through prayer potions. So that's where your cost is. Let's just hope we recover at least 50k would be nice from this run. That would guarantee that I've not wasted all these supplies, and that will be good. Next brother is Torag. Torag is the one with the hammers. He's a melee fighter. Torag is the guy that drains your run energy, and Torag is considered the most useless of all the brothers. His armor is very, very tanky. If you're wearing it as a player, it's excellent tank armor, but the set effect is just useless. Draining someone's run energy has very few uses outside of PvP, and even then, you're not really going to want to drain your opponent's run energy that often, when you could do better things like anything else. Prayer effect taking my prayer points down quite heavily now, so I'm just hovering the cursor over the prayer potion, hoping I can kill Torag before I need to take a sip. Excellent, I can. Torag's down, back out the barrow. Turn the prayer off just to save a bit. Now Verac, this guy might give me some trouble. Remember, Verac's ability is he can hit through our prayer and our armor. I'm still going to pray. I'm still going to be praying. I'm also putting on Mystic Might, the prayer. That's going to increase my magical accuracy and damage, and that's going to make this fight go a bit quicker. Remember, every single hit, he has a 25% chance of ignoring my armor and hitting mostly through my prayer. So his max hit is still pretty high, and I'm actually doing rather well. Even though I'm wearing mid to low level equipment here, he actually hasn't hit me yet at all. My prayer actually went entirely off there, and he didn't hit me at all. There was 0 damage. Ahrim is going to be the last one we fight in the barrow. Ahrim is the mage, so I'm changing to my magic shortbow. Protect from mage will stop all of his damage, but it will not stop his set effect, which is a chance to drain my strength by 5. This effect can trigger multiple times, so you can have your strength pretty heavily drained. But that's exactly why we've brought a super restore just in case. Now, I'm not wearing any Ava's item on my back, the attractor, accumulator or assembler, which means all my rune arrows are just falling to the floor whenever I miss. It's very important that I keep my prayer on for Ahrim, because even with my red dragon hide, his attacks are accurate and high hitting. Ahrim's down, pick the rune arrows up. I'm going to drop the vials because I don't need those. Put the rune arrows back on. Stick my staff and my Broodoo shield on again. And you'll see my prayer has been drained to 0. Now we can go into the tunnels. We've taken out all 5 brothers. Now it's time to pop into the tunnels. It was Dharok in the tunnel. Now I am in the tunnels. I'm going to kill a few of the smaller enemies just to build up my drop potential. I'm not really actually counting what I'm killing. There is a way to get exactly 86.8%, but I'm just going to kill a few. Now, I'm not going to constantly drink the prayer potions, because if I did, it would be drained by the time I find Dharok. So I actually don't mind my prayer going to 0. That's fine. Every time I open one of these doors, remember, there's a chance he might spawn. There's the centre. Excellent. We've passed the puzzle. We've opened the door. Dharok has not spawned, which means the chest is going to be a guaranteed Dharok, so I can drink a potion, open the chest. There he is. Get my protect from melee on. Dharok in the tunnel could be considered the most dangerous because my prayer is going to be draining fastest here. 13 points every 18 seconds. And as I take Dharok's health down, his max hit gets higher and higher. So I need to be praying all the time. I absolutely cannot risk my protect from melee prayer turning off even for a second. I cannot tank a low HP Dharok hit. It would be far too dangerous, especially in the equipment that I'm using right now. That should be enough. You can see the prayer drain counter, the countdown happening now. We're only 9 seconds away. I might be able, I'm not going to risk it. I'd have another sip of prayer potion just to keep it maxed out. And Dharok is down. With Dharok dead, you can see that our drop potential, nice, goes to 69.9%. I'm not happy with that. That's a low percentage, so I'm going to kill a few of the bloodworms down here. I don't mind leaving my prayer on now. I've got nothing to worry about. The enemies can attack me, but I've got a full inventory of food. I've not had to eat anything at all. That's been great. My prayer has effectively stopped all the damage, even through Verac, which was quite lucky, to be honest. I'm going to take out a few more of these enemies, build up my drop potential. You can see a lot of other players doing the same thing right now as well. Barrows, very, very popular mid-level combat minigame. Potentially very good money. The footage that I was filming in the background for this guide, I actually got on the very first run a Dharok's plate body, which sold for about 1 million coins. And if you're good at this, you can probably complete a full Barrows run in about 5 or 6 minutes, even quicker if you have better equipment. I've been doing this in low equipment on purpose. 82.8%. I'm going to get it a little bit higher just because I like those higher numbers. I often spend enough time getting to 100% potential just because I prefer it. We're fully out of prayer now, but there's no Barrows brother to spawn, so I'm not too concerned about it. I'm dropping that vial so I've got space in my inventory for whatever we get. And with that bloodworm down, we're at 88%. There we go, we'll open it up. We get 61 blood runes, 177 chaos runes, 1,266 coins, and some mind runes. I've used a teleport to house tablet. Let's have a quick check of what we're coming away with. We're leaving with just over 42k. For 5 minutes work, that's not bad. And that is a super simple, complete beginner's guide to Barrows. I hope this guide has been useful. A big thank you to all my supporters on Patreon who make all my videos possible, and to you for watching. If you have any questions, then leave a comment below or contact me on Twitch, Twitter or Discord. Links are all in the description. And as always, have a great day.